Welcome! These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 20th of December. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. It's got a bit late, it's got a bit of a late upload. I thought it might be a bit of a time consuming job on Tuesday night going for everything for Wednesday. And it took me a heck of a lot longer than I thought, even that. So it's a late upload. It's taken a long time. There's a lot of hours have gone into these selections. Let's hope that it's worth it and we don't have like what happened last Wednesday where we had an absolute drubbing. So we have got a £30 stake. It's exactly stake and a half. 6 bets. So we've got a bit of volume. And it is 15 races, 17 selections in total. There are 3 Yankee bets. There is a Dundalk split leg Yankee. There is an all-weather 2 Lingfield, 2 Kempton, so UK all-weather. And then there is a non-handicap bet. So there's 1 at Lingfield, 1 at Ludlow, 2 at Newbury. So all races that are either novice, maidens or bumpers. And then I've chucked also in the best each way double of the day. I've got a Win Trixie in the afternoon and combination double at Dundalk. So busy. You can make your own choices about what you do with picking the bones out of anything I'm doing, or some of you will copy it to the letter, either same stake, less stake, more stake, however you choose to do it. Alright, so that is the plan. So I'm going to try and not go through other stuff so much this video. I was going to do a little bit of a focus on one of the comment selections from Wednesday, which we'll get to, the 100 to 1 shot that managed to make itself into the frame and was a very, very close third, as in close to being second as well. It's just got a bit late, and I'm not gonna do that. So I'm trying to do that tomorrow. So there's no golf for a few weeks now, so there's no extras stuff going on. So I've got tips to league to do tomorrow night. But yeah, I might do a little bit of a sort of a real focus on how would you find a horse like that, because that's second time in about 6 weeks I've put a horse, we've actually advised it side bet and it's made it into the first 3 at triple figure odds. So we'll do a little bit of a focus on that, I think, tomorrow night if I've got a bit more time and energy to do that. So today we'll do the review of Sunday, which was the last video. And then Monday was simple. There was no horses in the comments, and I put up 1 upset in the darts. I mean, my man played well in the first round, but he got absolutely done over by Gerwin Price. There was a great upset if you missed it. The lad from Hong Kong, amazing debut. He hit 11 180s, more 180s than anyone else has hit so far in the first round. Great stuff. But yes, no good. For my bet. And then for Tuesday in the comments I put up 2. I put what I said was a side market bet. Clearly some of you didn't did ignore the advice and put it main market as well, and well done to you if you did it, because it SP'd at hundreds. I advised it in the side bet markets. I think it was 85, 70s and 40, 45s or something like that, 5th, 6th and 7th place. Clearly a lot of the market principles underperformed, and it ran a decent race. I mean, I wouldn't say the horse overperformed from my expectations. I think it's more about there was too many market principles underperformed. There was a certain range. So as I said, I'm not going to get into that now. I'll go into it then. And then there was one main market bet, which was the 8 o'clock Wolverhampton. Forget the name of the horse, and it was third, very clear third. So 16 to 1 was the advised price, but I'd imagine anyone getting that would have been hit with a 30p rule for deduction. There was a non-runner and then another horse that wouldn't go in the stalls, which was second favourite. So 30p rule for deduction, so it was equivalent to 11.2 to 1. SP was 9 to 1. So if you got hundreds and nines, that would be SP. You'll be happy. If you got more than hundreds and you got more than nines, well done. It's not anything we record in the stats for the channel, so everything in the comments is extras for you to do what you want with. I don't advise stakes on them, just advise where to put them on. So that was that. And then I'll just quick word on the darts. If anyone's got in on the darts bet, we had a nightmare. Apart from with one extra I've chucked out, James Wade got knocked out in his first match. I couldn't believe it. So we're down to 3, but it's blown the players to reach the final bet. So we are left with Chris Dobie, Stephen Bunting, and Gabrielle Clemons, none of which have played a match yet. So those are the 3 left running on the darts bet for those involved. All right. I didn't do Sunday review. Sunday review. We had a placed for Paddy Betfair, Sky, and 365 if you placed the bet in the morning, not the night before, which was so frustrating for some, I'm sure. Mrs. Beaton, no. Big Island placed and no good. So it was 2 for some, 3 for quite a lot in their channel, because there was 4 bookies paying 4 places at the end. Therefore, I'll take that as the 4th place. So it was a small profit on the day for Sunday, which meant we finished the week down 35. So it wasn't a good week, but at least we finished with a little profit. So down 35. The week before was down 40, so we were down 70, or about 76 it was for 2 weeks. The previous 2 weeks we were 84 to the good, and the previous 2 weeks before that we were hundreds to the good. So you've got to look at all these things in context. We've had 2 losing weeks, and there was a couple of days last week where we got a right hammering. So it didn't feel great, but yeah, we're 791 in profit for the year. There is 12 days left of this year. 10 days have racing on, and I'm planning to do videos for 9. The only days racing I'm not planning to do a video on before now and the end of this year, because no racing 24th or 25th is. I'm not planning at the moment to do anything on Sunday the 31st. That is currently a non-video day, and unless there's something particularly good, that'll be it. So we've got 9 videos to go, so we're guaranteed to come out the year with a profit. And the question is, are we going to build on what we've already got, or are we going to lose a little bit more, trying our luck for the last 10-12 days of the year? I don't know. What I can tell you is there was quite a bit of stuff I liked on Wednesday, and there was a lot of races I spent a lot of time on, so it's taken me a long time. So we will see if effort is rewarded or not for what we've got. So let's go through Wednesday's bet. Okay, so this is the non-handicap bet, and you will see there is a few tasty prices across the board in what I'm doing on Wednesday. So 12 o'clock Lingfield, we're starting early. I ummed and ahed about the race, and I've gone back round that a few times, and in the end I'm like, no, I am happy. I'm putting Harlington in at 33 to 1. I think it's a nice betting structure race, and yeah, I think there's an angle on that one that says 33s is overpriced. So we're going to start early with Harlington. Then we're going to go for 1 horse at Ludlow, 225 Ludlow, All the Glory. It's carrying extra weight for penalties and stuff, but I still think there's value in that mark from an each way point of view, certainly. So we put it in. Then the 235 Newbury, quite a lot of debate and energy has gone into that race too. It seems like it is 12 to 1. I think it's the clear 4th favourite. I would have it much closer to the front 3, so I think that's the right play. There is another horse in that race that I will mention that I think is worth a side bet. Obviously, I've had a couple of these recently, and people have got excited, and then they've gone and framed. But this one I'm suggesting is a side bet. I think it was called Touch of Thunder in that 235, and I'd be looking at 5th, 6th place markets. That would be the only place I'd be looking to play it. Personally, I'm not backing that one in the outright market. I have to be honest and say the one that I put out today was for Tuesday in the comments. I did bet that outright market as well. I had it in a Yankee, so it was in an outright market. But that Touch of Thunder, Tropic of Thunder, something like that, 235, and you'd be able to 5th, 6th place. That's the market I'd play in for that one. I wouldn't be betting it outright. There we go. And then the big price, I think it's a really interesting opportunity race, that one at 345. I've got a lot of non-unraced horses, and the ones that haven't really got much between them massively, I would say. And completely coincidentally, it is a coincidence, I want to flag this, it's the same trainer jockey combination as Tuesday's comment horse that was placed at third at 100 to 1. Yeah, so it's the Gardeners. That is not why I've picked it. That just happens to be a completely coincidence. So yeah, I'd just like to be clear. I don't track specific trainers and jockey combinations and stuff. I know sometimes I'll mention it. I'll flag it for other people's attention because people like some of that stuff. I'm aware of some of those things. I don't track it specifically. It's the fact that the horse has got some experience. You know roughly where it is at. And yeah, the way I've looked through that, you've got a lot of unraced horses. I'd always rather go with the form than the unracedness, and I just think the market, not for the same reason, but because it's got a small time stable and jockey that people aren't familiar with, and it's a female jockey, there is always bias against those things, and therefore it pushes the price up a little bit. So Prairie Queen is. And what I would say as well is, if you've got side bet opportunities, it's a really good one. You could go for that one. You could go all the way down to 7th, so 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. If you're looking at 365, when the time I'm making this video, something like hundreds, 95, 90s, 85, 70, something like that. All of those are worth doing. So it's one of those ones where, if I was advising it, if you were betting at 365, I would 100% I'd put it in this bet. But if you single stake, I'd split it across 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, because 100% I can see that horse coming in the front three. But likewise, I'd still think it's going to underperform. I don't see that horse kind of tailing off out the back unless there's something wrong with it. I think that's a decent option to finish in the top 7, and to be able to get that 70 to 1. I think it's a really, really good bet. But 100 to 1 outright market is also a nice enough bet. So it's a bog bookie, so they're all 3 places, no extra places, any of these races. 20p each way Yankee, 50p each way single on Harlington, no singles on the middle 2, we've left those out completely, and a £1 each way single on Prairie Queen. So that's a maximum single stake for the channel, £1 each way on Prairie Queen. 7.40 is the bet. That's bet 1. Okay, right. The rest of this stuff will be a bit quicker. There's just a few more interesting angles on there. Win Trixie. I was having a little bit of a debate about, do I put it in, do I leave it out? You'd make your own choices. We haven't had a full house on these for a while. I haven't been doing loads of them, but yeah, we're overdue a bit of a full house. We'll try our luck. I found 3 I was happy with for the channel. So you've got 1 o'clock Air Magic Wave. Not a lot of margin in there, but definitely should be an odds-on horse, 5 to 4. 110 Lingfield, Tiara Queen, 2 to 1. I think that should be closer to evens. So there's a good bit of value from a win perspective on that. And then 2 o'clock Newbury. I'm taking Pink Legend to beat Gallia de Leto. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't think there's much between them, but the market says there is. And it's really because that horse ran a duffer last time, and Gallia de Leto is a profile of a progressive horse. If you actually look at what they've done on bare form over a similar sort of distance and ground, there isn't really much between them, but yet one's 8 to 11 and one's 7 to 2. So I think it's worth chancing luck, because I think they should be closer in the market on actual realistic form. And yeah, I think Pink Legend should bounce back from the last run. So we're going 50p, Win Trixie, no singles or anything, win doubles and trebles. So it's £2 you bet. Bog bookie is what you want. That's bet 2. That is our Win Trixie for the day. And then we go into the Lingfield Kempton Yankee. So the 145 Lingfield Libra Tiger 16s, 220 Lingfield. I spent a lot of time on that race. There's quite a few different angles I was looking at playing, and I didn't like the quality of the race particularly to make it into combinations and stuff. So I've just stuck with the one horse, the best price, and the best value. So we've got Lord Clenna Castle 50 to 1, 66s in places. So there's a few bookies where you can look and get 66s on that. And then we've got 455 Kempton Waterloo Sunset 16. So that's 16 to 1. I do think that form, it's won at Kempton, but I think actually if you look at the race, most of the horses that finished around it then went on to go and win again. So it didn't win again. It didn't win again. Other horses that it beat went on and won. So I think there's a bit of mileage in the mark for Waterloo Sunset, and particularly good betting structure on that one. Most bookies paying 4 and Sky 5 on that race. I think it's a really good one. The favourite looks like it's getting shorter. And then the 7 o'clock Kempton Chantico coming off a break, but I would not worried about coming off a break for the trainer. He can get them fit first time, so if it's a goer, it should shorten up in the market. And if it's not, it might be a drifter. Well, if it's not, it'll probably be a drifter. So as much as I would often say I'm keen on a drifters, probably less keen on that one as a drifter. So let's see how we go. 20p each way Yankee, 50p each way singles on Libra Tiger, Waterloo Sunset and Chantico, 75p each way singles. So that's a mid single stake. Don't do that very often. Might start to do a bit more of those. 75p each way single on Lord Clenna Castle. 8.90 that one is bet 3. Sky best. And yeah, bookmaker advice very clear on this one. 365 second. Unibet, Betfred, Unibet and Betfred joint third and Betway fourth, and that's because of the extra places on here. So those 5 are the best bookmakers for this bet. So yeah, you're kind of some of the regulars we might talk about here, like Paddy and whatnot, wouldn't be using them for bet 3. So that's 8.90 bet 3. And then we've got the additional double with the 2 from the different Yankees with the most value on. So yeah, I think that's I'd call it a solid double, but yeah, clearly it's a bit ambitious as most people would believe it. So 220 Lingfield, Lord Clenna Castle 50s, and 345 Newbury Prairie Queen 100s. I think it's a really good value in both, and when you put it together, it makes excellent value. That does not mean that either of them will actually end up framing or placing. What it means is that over time, horses like that with the profiles they've got will pay you if you do them long enough. Those prices are far too big for those horses. So we'll try our luck on a very, very ambitious 50s and 100 to 1 double, 40p each way double. You know, if I was that way inclined, I'd start telling you about how many 1,000 to 1 it is or whatever like that. But do you know what? That's pipe dream stuff. When it gets in your bank and you've had a Bahamas day, then you can see how much it is. But let's not kid ourselves and dream on and start trying to sell you a bet on based on how much whatever it's going to be. What's it, like 5,000 to 1? 5,000 to 1 double. Woohoo! Like, yeah. If they both place, we'll all be delighted, folks. If they both win, then we're off to Bahamas, aren't we? Bahamas, something like that. We're probably not quite Bahamas on that money. Anyway, we've got 4 places there, 3 there. So not all bookies are 4 there. So you want 365 because you get a bog, and then otherwise Sky, Unibet, Betway, Betfred, and Boyle Sports I'll call out. So it's a 40p each way double. That's bet 4. Bet 5, Dundalk split leg Yankee. We've got 415 with split leg in it. Below deck 11s. So a slightly more reliable one, albeit it's a Luke Comer horse. That doesn't necessarily mean reliable, but the form has been reliable recently, so we'll see. 11s. And I've split legged it with Tynan, which is appearing to be bang out of form, but we backed it in December last year, 80 to 1, backed into 28, and it was second. So whether or not this is the right time of year, I'm a fan of the jockey booking for that one for Wednesday night, and I just think it's worth having a bit of a flyer on that one, bouncing back at 50s. There's quite a bit of 66 available on that, so worth shopping around. 5.45 Dundalk Bellick 25 to 1, 6.15 Dundalk Swass's Lullaby, probably butchered that name, I'm apologising now, 20 to 1, and then 7.15 Darkened, which has been on the channel quite a lot, 8 to 1. 2 times 10p each way Yankees, 50p each way singles, Tynan, Bellick and Lullaby, and then 50p win singles, Below Deck and Darkened. 8.40 is the bet. Sky best, but only because they're an extra place. They're 5 on that one. That's the only reason. Other than that, they're manned. Most bookies are 4. The only bookies really to avoid on bet 5 are Hills and Betfair of the main ones. They are 3 on some of these races, so avoid those. But you've got 365 Paddy Coral, you'll get Bog, and then some of the others I usually mention. At 840, and then bet 6 combo double. Below deck Tyne in the 415, 545 Bellet. We've added in Cherry Bloom, which we've been back in. So I've left it out the main Yankee, but put it in the combo double. So it's 4 times 25p each way. Doubles, £2, with a 50p win single on Cherry Bloom, makes it 250. Almost all bookies are 4 across these. And so Bog ones, 365 Paddy Coral, Ladbrokes would do your best. That's bet 6. Okay. I think that's it. So we're back tomorrow. Tips the league. The forecast is it's going to be. I thought it was going to be a really quiet week, and maybe not quite got that right. But quieter tomorrow. Probably main focus Chelmsford and Southwell. Although there's not lots of big fields, so we'll see what we can do with it. And then Friday's a bit busier again because you've got Dundalk back. The jumps is a bit more interesting, and I might have a first dabble of the Meydan season. There's a couple of slightly more interesting races at Meydan on Friday. I might have a little look at that. And then Saturday, I think probably going to be quieter. So I think it's Wednesday, Friday are busy this week. Thursday quieter, and Saturday I think might be quieter. Although there's some decent quality. I don't necessarily know that's going to translate to a lot of volume. So we'll see. So yeah, originally thought it was going to be a quiet week. We're starting off £30. We're not starting off quiet, are we? All right. That is me, and then yes, tomorrow. Oh yeah, and I'll try and go through a bit more detail about that Stormy Nelson. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I'm done for the day. All right. I'll see you tomorrow night. Good luck, and bye bye.